Can trans men be feminine? Let's talk about it. A trans man describes a biological female with the mental disorder gender dysphoria, who goes through a social, legal, and medical gender transition in order to alleviate the disorder. Trans men or transsexual men can, due to the testosterone almost past 100% as men, and regular people don't even notice them, don't even notice their transness. So they're the ones who just live normal lives. However, now in today's society, we're seeing a huge rise in young girls especially, identifying as trans men, but they do not deal with gender dysphoria. They identify as trans for clout, because it's trendy, especially on social media. They want attention, validation, affirmation from strangers on the internet. And unlike transsexual men, this group of people who are appropriating the trans identity are not diverse. Not only do these girls and women look the same, they also think the same. They're all on the far, far left. Pro-Palestine, pro the Black Lives Matter movement. Not all, but most, also support climate change activists and radical vegan activists. Real transsexuals, both men and women, are diverse. They can be on the right, on the left, love or hate meat, have facial piercings, and they can be against it. What transsexuals have in common, as the only thing, basically, is dealing with the mental disorder gender dysphoria. Real transsexuals do not transition for political reasons. They just want to feel better mentally. And most importantly, they do not want to change society. They want to be a part of society. And that's the reason why I call myself a transsexual instead of transgender. The definition of transgender has changed so much over the years. According to the new definition, anyone who claims to be trans is trans. Apparently, you don't need gender dysphoria to be trans, despite the disorder being the only mechanism that makes transsexuals transition. According to the new definition of trans, and according to trans activists, it's valid for trans men to be feminine. I would agree if we talked about transsexual men, the real gender dysphoric females who sometimes act or maybe talk a little bit feminine. I'm a great example of that. I, as a person, am a little bit feminine, and I'm comfortable with that. I mean, I'm quite sensitive, creative. Those are feminine creatures. What the fuck? Those are feminine features. But I will say, before my transition, I felt quite dysphoric, acting a little bit, like a tiny bit feminine. That made me feel so horrible. I couldn't control it, but I was trying to be myself, and today I'm so comfortable in my own skin. When I sometimes act or talk a little bit feminine, I don't care. I want to make something very clear. Acting feminine a little bit sometimes is not the same as what I'm gonna react to today. Let's dive into it. Being a trans dude, but wanting to dress pretty. Big dysphoric energy. Why would trans men want to dress pretty? Wearing pink dresses? The entire point of being a trans man is that you don't want to look like a girl. Something I shouldn't have to explain to you if you actually dealt with gender dysphoria. You acting like you know what it's like to deal with the disorder reminds me of this video. That's not how it works if you actually deal with bipolar disorder and ADHD. It's the same as when regular people say, that picture has to be straight because I have OCD. No, you don't. It's a horrible, difficult disorder to deal with, and you wanting something to be straight or look good doesn't mean you're mentally ill. Trans men can be feminine and soft and cute. Trans people don't owe anyone a certain gender role. No, girl, you're wrong. Real trans men do not look like this. You're just a regular woman, and it's okay. It's okay to be a woman. Here's a suggestion. Maybe you should start accepting yourself as a woman, instead of changing the definition of what it means to be a transsexual. Why don't you change your own view on what it means to be a woman, so you can feel comfortable calling yourself what you are, a woman? I think that's a lot easier than to claim to be something you're not. I know what you're thinking. Marcus, what about you? Well, I'm not claiming to be a man. I don't claim to be anything. I'm a gender dysphoric female. I'm a woman, I was born that way, and I will die that way. I live my life as a man, but I will never know what it's like to be a man. I'm socially being perceived as a gay man, but the fact is, biologically speaking, I'm a heterosexual female. A straight woman. You see, I'm not lying about what I am. Who I am. Why should I? You're probably wondering, why couldn't you just change your view on what it means to be a woman to include you? Why transition? I transitioned due to a mental disorder. You can't help dealing with the mental disorder. It doesn't matter, according to my brain, how many ways I could have been a woman, how broad the definition of womanhood is. It wouldn't change the fact that some parts of my brain made me feel pain, emotional pain, about my female features and my womanhood. Most of the young women I'm reacting to today who identify as trans men but have long hair and they wear dresses do not transition ever. And I'm assuming they only identify as trans on the internet, like it's cosplay. They want people to call them he, him, but maybe it's only an online thing. Who knows? Unfortunately, some of these women do transition. Watch this. 40,000 people like this video. 40,000. She's literally appropriating the trans identity. She took what I said in the beginning of this video. I felt uncomfortable being a little bit feminine before my transition, and now after my transition, I don't care at all. She took that and acted like she can relate to it. But she looks like a woman. Do I look like a woman? No. She's comfortable having long hair, wearing makeup, and only wearing a sports bra, posting it online. What is the point of her getting top surgery? Real trans men get top surgery to alleviate their dysphoria, of course, but also to live normal lives as men, as if they were men. This woman is not trying to live her life as a man. I think she wants an in-between look, but that's not trans. That's not gender dysphoria. It's just stupidity.
I think one of my favourite parts about getting top surgery is the fact that I can wear femme clothing now without feeling dysphoric at all. Chest dysphoria? There can't be any. There's no chest there. It just makes me really happy because this is one of the tops that I always wanted to wear and I never could, and now I can, and I feel so happy about it.
Is it just me, or does it look like she's still got breasts? Maybe it's because she's a little bit overweight and that's why it's like... Look at this. Completely flat. Thank God we have guidelines in Denmark saying that you can't do the surgery on the women who are overweight. It's not just for health reasons, it's also for cosmetic reasons. This video has 37,000 likes. Some women feel really uncomfortable with their breasts, but they don't deal with gender dysphoria overall. The thing about gender dysphoria is it's like a package deal. A gender dysphoric female can feel dysphoric about anything from pronouns to fingernails. Like right now, I really need to cut my fingernails because I feel quite dysphoric about them. If you put that outfit on me, not only will I try to punch you, it will trigger my gender dysphoria. I didn't cure it, because you can't cure it. You can alleviate the symptoms of gender dysphoria, but you can't cure it. I was about to say unfortunately so, but no, that's life. I so rarely feel dysphoric because I got the disorder under control. If you put makeup on me, or a wig and a dress especially on me, I would feel horrible again, like I haven't transitioned at all. That's how it works. It makes sense, right? Why would I go through all of this if I, as a biological female, am able to look like a woman, a feminine woman? So that's why I know that this is not a real trans man, because how are you able to look feminine? Why do you want to look feminine, most importantly? There's not one way to be trans. I'm a trans man who loves makeup and wigs. I'm still a man. Let's just ignore how you look for a second. You're a biological female. You're a woman, same thing. What are you talking about? I'm still a man. Also because you said there's not only one way to be trans. So which one is it, honey? Are you trans or are you a man? Just a reminder, not only can trans men wear makeup if we want to, we can even be drag queens. Men do drag all the time. Why is it any different just because I happen to be trans? Is this a rhetorical question or do you want an answer? I'm gonna answer anyways. It is different because you're not a man. And the only reason why you have a hairy chest and a full-size beard is because you transitioned. You're on synthetic testosterone. Your transition doesn't make any sense because you as a woman are comfortable with makeup, long hair, and apparently having curves. You got rid of your breasts but you're comfortable showing off your curves? Make it make sense. Look, you do you, but don't act surprised if people don't get it. Don't understand your trans identity. I'm so over this. It makes me so sad and uncomfortable that these women, some of these women, get top surgery. It's pointless. And I of course believe the doctors are the ones to blame. We need new and safe guidelines when it comes to the transition. It's heartbreaking to see so many young girls get top surgery, get their breasts removed, when they obviously don't deal with gender dysphoria but other mental health issues. These girls are not fixing, but they're destroying their mental health. They might feel euphoric for a short period of time, but I'll bet that we're gonna see in the next 5 to 10 years even a bigger rise in detransitioners, people who regret their transition. Men can be feminine. Men can act however they want and still be men. Women can be masculine. They can be as masculine as possible. They're still women. There is, of course, a limit on how many ways you can be a trans man. Because the box trans was created for a reason. There's not only one way to be trans. Well, yes, there is. Do you know what I'm about to say? Having gender dysphoria is the only one way to be trans. Halas. That's it, it's not that deep. If you can't relate to the definition of trans, guess what? You're not trans. Thank God. You are so lucky. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell. If you want to support me and my channel, you can become a member, or I have my PayPal link in the description down below. Remember to follow me on social media. I love you and I cannot wait to see you in the comments. Peace out.